bling.
This episode of Vic's Basement is brought to you by EB Games. Support us by buying your video games at EB Games. Welcome to my basement, everybody!
Hi, we're doing good.
Hello, Marissa Roberto.
Hi.
Hello, everybody watching us on Twitch.
Hi.
Or if you're watching us later, you saved it to your PVR type device.
Or you just went online and found us because we're there.
Or you just found us, or Twitch put us on the front page for a second and you don't know what the hell you're watching. Hello!
Oh, hi there.
We talk about games on this show. We talk about everything nerdy and...
but also Gilmore Girls.
A lot of Gilmore Girl talk, so get ready for that. Shall we go? Let's dissect Season 3, Episode 4.
No, okay, but we're going to talk about the Star Wars trailer right away.
Yes, we are.
Obviously that's top of mind along with many other things.
What a week.
In this universe. But I do want to say, since I just mentioned Gilmore Girls, I feel like you
Is
and
Harrison Ford in it?
No, he's not. But I would like to challenge you, and I want you to challenge me. So I want to challenge you to watch the first season of Gilmore Girls.
Whole season?
Just the first season.
Okay.
Just the first season of Gilmore Girls. Try to get into it. I feel like you would like it only because of the mother-daughter relationship and how it would relate to your wife and your daughter.
Okay.
Okay?
Now I challenge you to watch...
Yes, so you challenge me now.
Homicide: Life on the Street, which is the precursor to The Wire.
Okay.
And I think was a big television show. It was a network television show, but it was so gritty and realistic.
Is it something I can binge on Netflix?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
It's an amazing show, and you'll see a lot of people that you know. A lot of actors went on to do really big things off of that show.
These sound like two completely opposing things, but there's a lot of actors that just make appearances in Gilmore Girls.
I've heard good things about that.
You see in everything now. So
I'm a fan of good things. I will watch something cool.
I mean, it's not whatever.
I heard The Good Wife is a really good show too.
The Good Wife is so good.
I mean,
so great. But another Gilmore Girls tie-in, because the dude that plays Logan in Gilmore Girls is the main dude in Gilmore.
Have you seen the 6 Feet Under run?
No.
That's an incredible show.
Okay, so which one do you want me to watch?
I want you to watch Homicide, because nobody talks about how cool that show was. It was really groundbreaking. But this is the kind of world that we're in right now. We are inundated with amazing choices. We binged on Daredevil last weekend. I want to binge on it again.
That was a violent binge.
There is so much good material to play, watch, sit back, go out to the theaters. This week, though, in particular, I think we have to give the week to Star Wars, The Force Awakens. The panel was really cool. Everybody could watch it, and a lot of people lined up, and JJ bought pizzas for everybody that was in line for the night before. And so it was a real love fest, and Mark Hamill was there, Carrie Fisher was there, Peter Mayhew, Anthony Daniels.
But your boyfriend wasn't there.
No, Harrison Ford was not there. Oscar Isaac was there, John Boyega, and who is the other? Daisy Ridley. So a nice meshing of old and new, and
that was nice.
It was really cool, and I think everybody was really emotional and nostalgic and had wonderful things to say.
Feeling the love.
Harrison Ford was not there.
No, but you know what though? We won't talk about it because our review can't air until next week. But you did get some Harrison Ford in last night when we
after the amazing Harrison Ford reveal at the end of the Star Wars trailer, which I think sent chills down my spine. I don't know if it sent chills down your spine.
You know what? I was not expecting the chills. I was not expecting the chills at all, and it happened. And it happens every time I watch it. I just tested it again before we came here. It is his voice, but it's also the music and the ambience. It just throws you right in, so we're going into it right now.
Let's watch it. Let's take 2 minutes, and we'll watch this awesome trailer. Ridiculous.
I know.
The giant Star Destroyer. I mean, this almost looks like The Force Unleashed in a way, doesn't it? Yeah, I love it.
The Force is strong in my family.
Oh.
My father has it.
Right.
Well, I was going to ask about that. Has it? Does that mean that his father is somehow alive?
It's just because it's from
I have it.
Jedi.
Okay.
So it's a throwback to get us to remember that the Force permeates more than just Luke Skywalker. It didn't die with him, or it doesn't die with him.
You have that power too.
Amazing. So he upgraded. This is version 4.0 of his hand, I think. That's Luke.
Right. That's Luke. Yeah.
actually not sure if people can hear us right
No, they can. I think they can. Oh man, here it comes.
Chewie,
New stormtroopers.
we're home.
Oh my god. So
It was your boyfriend. He was there with Chewie.
Oh my god, so damn cool. Yes, it sent chills down my spine. All my hairs on my arm went up. I immediately took screen grabs and stuff from every device I had connected to the internet.
You along with the rest of the world. No, it was a really cool thing. And the fact that Twitter was blowing up and that they had their own little emoticons whenever you hashtagged anything from just watching the event. Like that is some pretty special
very
stuff.
shrewd, except Disney effed up on the CP3O emoji, and then Anthony Daniels trolled Disney, which was incredible. He went up on stage and said, I'm now a hashtag CP3PO. It was incredible. Oh man. So that was kind of a magic moment for
a lot of people.
Yeah, anybody that's ever had a fondness for this franchise. Faith Restored, which I think could have been the new subtitle for the movie. I'm looking at the 1977 Star Wars poster that's up on my wall right now as I say this, but it's up to now the filmmakers to deliver and to actually build us that movie that they're promising us.
Well, hopes are up now. Hopes are up.
Yeah.
And every single thing that I see now, I just feel like even the characters, these new characters, I feel like I already love.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of pressure on them. That is a lot of pressure on them, but you can see how much they love it and how much they just enjoy being a part of this world, and who wouldn't? I mean, this is an amazing thing to have for an acting career. My God, these people have just won the lottery.
Totally,
Yeah.
but there's something more. I mean, I feel like there's a need for something this universal.
Yeah.
There are maybe 20, 30 properties out there that reach like Star Wars does.
Yeah.
And we clamor for this stuff. We want it. We want to have the faith for it, and it's because those first 3 movies were so beyond imagination. You know, like that culmination and that collaborative kind of spirit to build those things. When they didn't really know, they were a bunch of kids, really, all of them. Yes. They didn't know what they had, and they found it, and they discovered it, and this generation that was growing up with that just was, the imaginative explosion that happened in minds all over the world was something to behold, and I think that we want to retain that, and it's been very hard for anybody else creating any other IP to get anything close to this.
Yeah.
And what's amazing is they tarnished the brand, and everybody knows it, and there's this veiled, apology about all of the stuff, the choices that they're doing with this.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they're talking about using real sets and shooting on location, and the real props. They even brought up that BB-88, I think is his name, or what's the ball droid?
It's BB-88. Yeah.
BB-88. They brought the working model, the one that actually can run on a ball, and that blew everybody's mind. It's like, how is that even happening? How is that even possible? But it's possible.
The future.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks physical. It looks like they're really in these spots, so it's not going to just be a bunch of green screen work. And
no, well, that first opening shot was not Tatooine, right?
Yes, no,
that's not Tatooine.
No, it's something else.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. We're in a whole new world.
We are in a whole new world, and I think the pressure's on. JJ said it, but I think they're going to deliver. I think this is going to be a phenomenal escape that we really want and need, and it will make up for a lot.
Well, I mean, hopefully it'll make up for a lot. These trailers seem to be making up for a lot, that's for sure. I guess we'll have to wait until Christmas.
Yeah.
But there are a few, we'll keep the Star Wars talk going because clearly we have other trailers to get into. We're going to be playing Star Wars video games very soon as well. But I do want to touch on the fact that you could have been at this event.
I could have been at this event.
and I want to talk to you about that for a second.
Jose is at this event right now. He was always going to go to this event. And the minute that, I knew that this Battlefront, we're watching some of the Battlefront stuff behind us right now. Yeah. This looks like movie footage. This is so goddamn beautiful. It's ridiculous.
It's so true.
But the minute that I knew this was happening, I was like, and I knew there were going to be Force Awakens stuff there. I was like, I have to go. I mean, EP was really born out of my love for all of this stuff from Star Wars back in the day.
And you were supposed to go.
I was supposed to go, and then we heard word that the Avengers screening for us was going to be today.
Today, yeah.
And I also knew that Jose I was going to be stealing camera time and like doing all of these interviews and stuff, and he really wanted to do it, and he was already going.
Yeah.
So both of those factors played into it, but of course the Avengers screening has been moved. We did not see it yet, and it would have been this morning, which would have culminated the most incredible geek week I think I've ever had in my, because we had Daredevil, we've had the Ant-Man trailer, we've had both of these Star Wars things, all of this stuff happening, and would have been capped off with Avengers, and I probably would have died on the weekend, but no, they moved the Avengers. Nap. So now next week gets to be cool.
No, I know, but so the only reason that you're here now is because of me and Vic's basement, because you needed to be here with me.
Yeah, of course, and that was the other thing too.
Yeah.
You'd be missing. You would be here alone because Jones is still in New York.
I know, but I feel bad. And you say that I feel bad because this is a big event
this
that
is
you
awesome.
didn't go to.
And we all get to share and discuss. Darth Vader at the end.
Darth Vader.
Yes.
Yeah, so you get to play as Darth Vader.
Yes.
In Star Wars Battlefront.
It doesn't look like. I mean, it looks incredible, but it looks like they've just.
And Boba Fett.
They've
and
taken.
Boba Fett.
Oh my God, so gorgeous.
Like he can do anything.
Yeah, no, but it looks like they've just taken the incredible design work and the ideas and the philosophies that Pandemic built and just super rezzed it, and just given us even more out of the goodie bag. But it's but that's fine. Like that's all we want out of more Battlefront.
And I love that they're going into the original trilogy world. I love that, and how they announced that we're already going to get DLC that bridges the gap between the original trilogy and The Force Awakens,
for sure,
which is so cool. Love that, because I love how just being a gamer and playing it, you'll get to bridge the gap. Right? That'll be just for us, which I really like. I like feeling special in that sense.
Well, here's the thing with the Star Wars. There's been, even with the the disappointment with the clone trilogy. There were great games associated with that stuff, and there was other great fiction associated with it. The animated series was excellent.
So good.
The Getty Tartakovsky, was that his name? He was the original animator. He went on to do Samurai Jack and other things. But he built a Clone Wars mini animated episodic thing that aired on Cartoon Network, and that kind of spurred on the whole CG Star Wars Clone Wars stuff.
I think that was after Samurai Jack.
Was it after? Well, all of that work was incredible, and there's been a lot of really good things associated with Star Wars, even though those 3 movies really stand out. Although I still kind of like Episode 3. But those movies really stand out as kind of low points. But now, if we get good movies, incredible looking games, and new fiction being created, we are in, kind of heaven with this stuff, and it's okay to love all of it again,
Well, of course. I think, for me, it's always been okay to love it because what's happening?
Speaking of which, I have my latest microfighter. I didn't have my 15 minutes to build this yet.
He's been very jumpy these last few days, Victor Lucas.
That was a jumpy toy break.
You're very jumpy and you're freaking me out a little bit, but it's fine. I get it. You're hyper from all this stuff.
Of course.
And you don't even need sugar in your life. You just need this Star Wars.
I mean, I feel like Hollywood and the games industry is just like, Vic, what would you like?
Let me serve it on this silver platter.
Oh, okay. You would like a Daredevil series that really adheres to the Frank Miller comic books and is really gritty and dark and a little depressing, but has meaning and weight and gives you a villain that kind of makes you feel empathetic toward. Done.
Yes. Meaty Daredevil with some au jus, no problem.
Yeah, there it is. You want Ant-Man and the Atom? Okay, we'll make that happen. We'll make an Atom TV show, and we will make an Ant-Man movie to show you that tiny superheroes can still kick ass.
I think the greatest casting ever, looks like, in this movie. Well, Evangeline Lilly and Paul Rudd. Not too sure.
EP's Evangeline.
Sorry, with EP's Evangeline Lilly. I like you take possession of that. With EP's Evangeline Lilly rocking an awesome cut.
Yeah.
Love the bangs. Love the bob.
I think she got that idea because she met. I showed her pictures of my daughter.
Of Ruby. So she's got the Ruby look going.
She's got the Ruby
Love
hair.
it. Paul Rudd. Honestly, I just fall more and more in love with this man. The more I see him.
He's all our boyfriend.
He's everyone's boyfriend.
He's boyfriend to everyone.
He's so boyfriend material.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Who else is though? Is Brandon Routh. He's a really awesome Adam. He's doing a fantastic job on the show. I know you're not as enthused, but
that's fine. Yeah,
he's so charming. He's such a likable big lug, in that show. And I hope people are watching Flash and Arrow because he's killing it.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I don't want you to take attention away from Paul Rudd
we'll
right
talk
now,
more
but
Paul
it's
Rudd.
fine. No, he just looks so strong, but I love how funny he is. He's gonna add this character, like his humor to this character.
I like the Thomas the Tank Engine train bit. That was pretty funny.
Right.
Where it's and then just falls down. You don't see that in hero movies too much.
That feels like maybe it was a holdover from Edgar Wright's time spent on, like, I could see him storyboarding something like that.
Oh yeah, and it also feels a little bit like the Lego movie.
Oh.
You know, I think the Lego movie kind of opened the doors for people to have some real fun with this kind of stuff.
Sure.
And that is what's incredible with Marvel. Like, we have Daredevil, which couldn't be bleaker, with like heads exploding and people getting beat to death with hammers.
Yeah.
And then Ant-Man gets hit by Thomas the Tank Engine the next day. It's like, that's incredible, man. That's breadth.
I do have concern, though, over Michael Douglas.
Why? Because he creeps you out?
Mildly.
Okay.
Like, I don't defend you got why.
Well, he's a good actor. He's a good actor. He's one of these old dudes that's still able to deliver it. Why? You just think he's too cheeseball? Too hammy?
Okay, but here, I feel like it's going to have the same effect on me that...
As Gordon Gekko did?
No.
Liberace?
No, not Liberace. Oh my God, this is going to kill me now because...
Romancing the Stone?
No, stop. Wait.
Hold on, let me call it this IMDb.
Okay, so Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And he's...
Batista?
No, stop.
What?
No.
Michael Douglas reminds you of Batista?
He was the natural in The Natural. Oh.
Robert Redford.
Robert Redford, thank you.
Okay. All right.
Just name escaped my brain.
All right.
Because I didn't like him in the movie.
Because he was acting like out of era?
He was just acting like he was acting like, oh, this is a really good actor, and now he's there and he's acting. And I feel like with these veterans, maybe sometimes, I don't know, maybe I just expect more from them.
This is getting ageist, this conversation.
I'm sorry.
But I think there might be something to this because I think what might happen with the older actors, if they're not working all the time, is I think what happens with acting is styles change with eras.
Sure.
You know, and James Dean was a great, huge catalyst for a new way of motion picture acting.
Yeah.
And in the movies that he made, he only made a few, he always stood out as being this amazing naturalist next to all of these converted stage actors who used to kind of sit and stage themselves and deliver their lines as if they were delivering it off of a theater stage. And then here comes James Dean, and he's all sulky and he's rubbing his head and he's just, like he was just always much more rooted in teen angst and reality.
Sure.
And I think that might happen with some of the old guard if they don't constantly stay in the game. And sometimes they're such big stars that they don't work all the time. I don't think Douglas is the same as Redford, though. No, because Redford also flips back and forth between directing and acting. And I think acting became less of an important thing. So.
Sure.
And when I saw Cap 2 on Blu-ray, that performance does not stand out the way that it stands out on the big screen. It meshes a little bit more with the story.
Oh, right, that's what it was from Cap, not Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of superhero movies.
And many more to come.
And so many more to come. My
Yes.
God, I can't even, now it feels like the wave is about to hit.
I mean, Black Panther and Doctor Strange and Ms. Marvel, or Captain Marvel, and the Wonder Woman news also hit this week.
Okay, I don't like...
Michelle McLaren's off the picture. I don't know if
like
you guys
that.
have been reading about this. This is a lady that we had the pleasure to meet. She came into the studio. We interviewed her about her work on Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. This woman is good. This woman is good, and I just feel like...
Awesome lady to talk to, too.
She was so smart.
So
link
cool.
To the EP Live interview will be in the chat momentarily.
Oh,
cool.
sweet.
Blake's going to post the actual link so you can watch that interview. It was like a nice long hour. We were both
God, she was just
blown away with her...
stoic. I love that woman.
Well, just her smarts and her experience and her stories, and I think she was totally fit for the job. I just read the Variety report on what happened, basically, and this is conjecture because nobody's going to go on the record, right? But basically, she got the gig, and I think like all of these meta franchise things that are happening, where there's a lot of moving parts, everything has to be tested. Every idea has to be tested through the ranks of executives to see if these things are going to be suitable money makers. And Wonder Woman, as she envisioned it, was going to be a much more action-oriented origin story with lots of war-type scenes to kind of show that she's a kick-ass warrior.
Sounds good to me.
But Warner Brothers, I think, wants, say, more character-driven, psychological, like let's get into the mind of this person, which could be great too.
Right, but she could also have gotten into the mind of...
Well, we don't know what the script is going to be, but basically they threw it to 5 other writers, and they didn't like Michelle's direction or take on it. And so it was just a total conflict right from the beginning. So she bolted. So she's off of the thing.
Well.
And now it's going to be another female director, which is great news. I think that's awesome. She directed Monster with Charlize Theron. I forget her name. I think it's Betty something. Blake will search it for us. But she's now stepping into the reins, and they wasted no time. Like Michelle McLaren was off of it. Patty Jenkins is the new director, but Michelle was off of it like on Wednesday, and by yesterday, Tuesday I think, and by yesterday, Patty Jenkins was announced as the new director of Wonder Woman, and because they're trying to hit their targets. But I don't. I mean,
I just want a good movie.
Well, and now we're going to talk a little bit about Batman versus Superman, which is leaked, and it's the IMAX thing that's going to be coming out on Monday. Presumably, maybe Warner Brothers is going to do more than just show the 2-minute teaser that has leaked out there. It's terrible footage. It's very dark.
Yeah, and we can't show it to you.
We can't show it because it's not legal.
Yeah, it's not legit.
We don't want WB to put a takedown notice on this either. But of course we've all watched it. Anybody that's a fan of this stuff, and I think
I was hoping to see some Wonder Woman, but fine.
Yeah, we didn't see any Wonder Woman. We don't really get to see Affleck doing any real acting. He says a couple things.
He just kind of stares.
We don't get to see that a lot.
Yeah.
Another zing by Blake.
He says, "Do you bleed?"
I mean, I believed it. I believed it for a second.
I watched that trailer about 15 times. And
oh my God.
I don't know if it was because I couldn't make out any of the details, but I don't know if it's that. But I was also fascinated with the little bits of detail that were in there. I think Charlie Rose is one of the first communicators in the thing, or it sounds just like Charlie Rose at the beginning.
Yeah, and they have Neil deGrasse Tyson in there as well.
Do they?
I think all the voices at the start are all like real media people.
So it's an interesting analysis, but it feels like they're teeing up a very Civil War like type storyline for this, which is the next Captain America movie if you're not following along, which is the sort of the global government kind of coming to grips with these new meta-humans and superpowered beings, and at first idolizing them, and then recognizing the peril and the threat that they pose.
Sure. And
that's Batman being 5 steps ahead. And this is all ripped from Frank Miller's work as well. Hat tip to Frank Miller today. But I think we're being set up for a pretty cool, psychologically intense action movie that will look great, but it does look dark as hell.
Yeah, it looks very dark.
And it looks depressing as hell.
Sure. I need to talk to you about something.
Maybe Michelle saw all that and just said, no, I don't believe in any of this stuff. I want to have a different kind of imprint on her thing.
Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? But we need to talk about this whole Batman versus Superman thing because I don't like. Why? I know that it's in the comics. I get that. Yeah. But why?
Why start the franchise off like that?
Sure. Like, I don't understand. First of all, if you think about it and you just take both sides of it, Superman is supposed to be Superman. Like, he can do anything and destroy anyone except for kryptonite. Like, a kryptonite comes in, that's it. I
love that we get to talk about Man of Steel again because I feel like that is an underappreciated movie, the first film.
And Man of Steel, no, I didn't like Man of Steel.
No, okay? I know a lot of people didn't.
And he destroyed a lot of buildings and people lost a lot of lives. Okay. So for Superman, I mean, you killed a lot of people, bro. So I understand Batman being upset.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
About Man of Steel.
What?
He's not Superman. No one knows him as Superman yet. He is not a hero. He is this kid that wears the colors of his homeworld and has come to Earth, and no one knows what the hell he's doing. He's done a couple of things where he's saved a few things, but nobody has this understanding of what threat has faced Earth and who this character is and what he's doing. And he through the course of the film, this is his origin story to the point where he finally recognizes that he has to be Earth's hero at the end of the film. And he also chooses humanity over Krypton, which is an unbelievable sacrifice. He kills the only link to his homeworld that he had and crushes and stamps that possibility out. His homeworld was being recrafted on Earth. And he said, no, I'm saving Earth. Okay. So nobody knows that he's this hero, including him, until the very end. And that's the threat that Batman recognizes as we're going into this thing, because he doesn't know what the hell this being is. He doesn't know what his intentions are. He's seen the devastation, but now we get to see the real formation of Superman as a character and his real desire to be this thing, and also Batman's absolutely correct suspicions of this new character. And that's exactly how Batman would approach the news that a super being was on Earth. That's exactly what he would do. He would like look at him and study him and get his weaknesses and equip himself with the armor, and then he would go to battle with the guy to see, and take him down, because he would want to not have his city or his citizens or his world threatened like that. So it all makes sense.
Okay, fine. I understand Batman having beef with him then. I appreciate that. But why would Superman, I know not yet Superman, but why would he have beef with Batman just because Batman has beef with him? What's his deal?
I don't think we see Superman get angry until he is, in this movie. I don't know what they're doing, but I would suspect that Cavill is on this Superman is now on a quest to engage Earth and to get people to believe him and understand, and they'll start the movie with press about him, maybe the Lois Lane interview or something like that, so that some of that mystery is kind of dropped off a little bit from the guy. And I hate that speedy, let's get into it right away, fill everyone in with an interview. I think it's fascinating. I think that's the unspoken thing about the Snyder take on this. It was different, but it's also it's gritty, and it was way creepier and more violent than we're used to with this character. But I don't know. There's something about it that I really like. I liked Crow. I liked Costner. I liked Diane Lane in the movie. I just didn't like Lois Lane. She was the weakest part of the thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I still don't understand how Batman actually could think that he could take on Superman. Once he studies him and realizes that he's from a different freaking planet, Batman is a man. He's a human being, which is why we all relate to him and love him so much. Yeah. But Superman is this god. Well,
Batman's the character that believes absolutely in himself and his ability and his intelligence to understand any threat, any situation, and even if he will fail, which he knows in the back of his mind he'll still try. So he would suit up for anything. He's my homie.
You gotta love him.
No, he would suit up for anything. He goes up against Killer Croc. He goes up against Clayface. He goes up against mobs of
but these are all again humans that have been transformed into something else.
Sure. Yeah.
So this is another being completely. Their strengths should not even come close to matching.
Yeah, what's cool though is that both of the characters allow for a lot of parameter to kind of mix and match, and I don't know if this version of Superman is as all powerful as previous. Okay. Which makes him a little more attainable, and honestly, on a fictional level, on a contrasting with the rest of the universe around the character, he shouldn't be able to just keep finding new abilities and do everything and be totally invulnerable except for a green rock. There should be more things that can take down Superman.
And I think more people would love and appreciate Superman if he had more flaws than just the kryptonite. So I guess we'll just see what happens. I have to see to believe it, I suppose, but I didn't read any of the comics that featured this battle, so I don't know how it actually shakes out.
And people keep talking about Superman as kind of the light out there. They reference the Richard Donner, incredible first Superman, which is still one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. But the truth is, the character has had many permutations and many different kinds of things, and he's had grit. And I think the biggest thing about Superman is that there is a tremendous sadness around the character.
Yes, for sure.
Life is constantly in jeopardy around him, or it's been killed, and he still has to he has to fight through all of that and still be a source of light for other people, and that's why he talks about hope in the first movie.
Sure, yes, there's virtue there, definitely. So I
hope I'm not the only one that liked that first movie. But I did.
Feel like you are, that's fine. But then if this is supposed to be Batman versus Superman, which it is, then who cheer for? Like, whose side can you get on?
Well, here's what happens with Batman versus Superman.
Okay.
They discover the intentions of each other.
No, of course, yes.
And then they become the best of friends. Well, the very best of friends.
Sure, Justice League.
We know that has to happen because the Justice League movie comes out a year later.
Definitely,
so.
yes, we know that's going to happen.
But even amongst all of the other characters in the DC universe, Clark and Bruce Wayne are the very best of friends for many, many, many years.
Isn't that interesting, though, how that happens? Because that's usually how guys do it. Like, when they bro down. When they realize that they have competition, they duke it out. Like, they actually fight. Like, really alpha males do this. They they throw down. And then all of a sudden, they're BFFs. Like, they're absolute best friends.
Yeah.
Can never happen with women. That never happens with women, by the way.
And what's interesting about the relationship, too, is that the color of the relationship always changes. And they're at odds all the time.
Yeah.
You know, Batman can be a real dick, you know, and he's I'm interested to see this. This has never been put on screen before. I'm really interested to see this tried and attempted. I don't know if it's going to be successful, but these were the books I grew up reading, man. World's Finest was one of the monthly series I would buy. And then I went back in the back catalog and collected all the 60s stuff.
Which is why I wanted to discuss this with you today, because I had many questions after watching the trailer. Even though I knew the title was Batman vs. Superman, I got it. I understood that they would be, broing down at one point, but I didn't understand the logic behind it, like why they would even fight to begin with. But I get it now. They've got to duke it out before they can become bros.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what happens.
Yeah, and I think, I think Batman would expect that there would be a threat from Superman, so he's going prepared for that.
Sure.
And then maybe Luthor's in the movie too. Everybody's in the damn movie. This is what's frightening about this thing.
It might be too much.
They've only teased a little tiny bit of what the story is, but they've got Aquaman's in there.
I feel like it's
Wonder
gonna be too
Woman's
much.
in there. We're probably going to see a little. I don't think they'll do Green Lantern. Maybe the Flash. Yeah, they probably will because they've already announced him, right?
The Green Lantern's the only one who hasn't been cast, so he's probably the only one who.
Well, who is Cyborg? Have they announced that or?
Yeah, it's some theater actor.
So they'll show Cyborg.
He'll definitely be in it. He was cast more than a year ago.
So that'll be weird. That'll be weird if it's just like one.
Too much.
It's like 7 origin stories in one movie. That's going to be. And then they're going to be fighting, and then
They can't do that. It might be one of those like Lego movie situations where they just like go into a big room and they're all there and they're all talking and then like, hey, see you later. It might just be one of those. I don't know. We can't see everyone's origin story. That's insane.
I know.
We just can't.
Well, and I mean they're going to have tons of movies after this to get us up to
this
speed.
Universe. Oh God, it is exploding all over the screen. Blake, I'm sure that people have been commenting on.
Yes, for sure.
Oh yeah,
everything.
You got any questions or anything?
I can save them for the lightning round at the end though.
You want to lightning round it?
Yeah. Okay. Well, this goes. You guys mentioned Daredevil briefly.
We should talk about Daredevil.
I have to give a shout out to Bear and Miss Baruti. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, who's in the chat right now.
Yes, they're in the chat. They made me this awesome Batman medallion. I probably won't wear it as a medallion outside of the basement. I would probably hang it up, but look at this. It's so cool.
Best that you wear that today because Scott's coming back next week.
So cool and custom made.
It's really nice.
I love little gifts like this. It's really thoughtful and very kind.
Yeah, I love that.
It'll go up on the wall up here somewhere.
Definitely. It belongs in that wall for sure.
Thank you.
Very sweet. I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
Such nice fans.
Do we want to spoil Daredevil?
I feel like we should spoil our review. I feel like we should because people that watch this, I feel like the people that take part in this should get all the spoilers anyway.
The reviews will air. The review will air on Monday.
Yeah.
But
so
just before you start, someone asked a direct question. They wanted to know what you think of Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. Which I'm sure you will touch on anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Well, because you and I discussed it in the review, you had to break it down for me because these are also comics that you have read growing up.
Not so much growing up, more recently.
Oh, really?
And I don't have a breadth of Daredevil stuff, but I've read a bunch of Miller. I've read a bunch of Bendis books, and I love the character.
Because of Wilson Fisk.
Well, Wilson Fisk is an awesome villain, yeah, for sure.
Sure, but because some people have been saying that he's too soft in Daredevil.
Because he's different than and he's not as big and not as big in terms of violence and stature that he is in the books. He's pretty damn creepy.
He's creepy, and when he throws down, he throws down.
Yeah.
This show is incredibly violent.
Yeah.
Surprisingly violent,
but
though.
It's more than that, though. It's realistic. It gives you a sense of what would happen to a human being, even a powered human being with the ability to close his eyes and meditate himself back to wellness, which Daredevil can do. They explain some of the metaphysical, impractical ways that he can.
It's difficult for me to wrap my head around.
But even throwing that in there, they show what would really happen if the guy fell off of a building and landed on his back. And he's at one point rescued out of a dumpster, and he's nearly dead.
I think twice he was rescued out of the dumpster. Like, he just found his way into the dumpster a lot, and Rosario Dawson seemed to just be there. There were a lot of moments when I was watching that I just thought, okay, like, come on, that would never happen in real life. I know that this wouldn't, like, I get it, Daredevil would never actually happen in real life. I get that, but if you're trying to ground it in some kind of realism, there's no way they would be at this place at this time and always be at this place and this time.
Closest they've come, though.
Yeah.
I think, especially. Maybe Super, the James Gunn movie that Rainn Wilson starred in. Is that right, Rainn Wilson?
Yeah, Super.
Yeah, that was pretty realistic and gritty and super violent. But this was a phenomenal achievement, and I think they made both Daredevil and Kingpin the most important characters in the show. They found those characters. They made believable versions of those characters. Yes. I think they had a little problem with Foggy and with Karen Page.
Yes.
I loved Ben Urich. I loved some of the supporting cast around Wilson Fisk, like some of the other bad guys in the show. But Fisk and Matt Murdock really were pinned. They were really well put together,
they were, for sure. I was into it. I really do. I don't know. We talked about this in the review, and I doubt it will air because it's very personal. But so main character looks a lot like my ex-boyfriend, and I couldn't, like, it was very difficult for me to watch, but mostly just his mouth, right? So every time he
Is he a vigilante?
No, he's just a dick.
Okay.
But
it's Dick Man. I've heard of him. He polices the streets of Saskatoon, doesn't he?
No, it was not. It was Toronto. It was my first boyfriend when I went to Toronto.
Okay, all right, okay.
And
Dick Man. Who am I gonna offend today?
No, you know what? He's an okay guy. Just he did bad things, and so for that I cannot forgive. But no, it was just weird to see. So I couldn't see him as this amazing man because every time you put this on, I would think like, that is
really?
too close to home for me.
But then he would flip and fly and kick people's guns out of their hands while doing backflips and then throwing his baton off of things.
Sure, but sometimes I felt like the acrobats came out of nowhere. Like when you were watching the show, like sometimes they're just like, okay, now it's time for tumbles and flips. Like why?
I loved all that, and I also because it's so like the books. They got as close as they could. But I love that he fights, and it was lots of uppercuts and guys just flying. Whoosh! But that's very like ripped off of the comic book panels. But the analogy that I came up with, I remembered Unforgiven and the incredible Western, the Clint Eastwood Western with Gene Hackman, and there was a character in that movie that was embellishing the exploits of one of the gunslingers in the movie, and so was writing a story about how heroic and over the top they were. Okay. And I felt, watching the show, the comics are kind of that embellishment of what's happening in the show. And then the show would be an embellishment of actually what would happen if, a well-trained real human being put on a Daredevil costume and tried to do stuff.
Okay, sure, because that was really embellished.
It's like a little extrapolation, but we got so close, so much closer than Arrow, and I love Arrow.
Yes, but Arrow seems a bit more real, like just because he seems like he's a regular dude, and then I felt like Daredevil, he's just a regular dude.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, I guess he can parkour. I don't know, like he just out of nowhere, and I don't know where, because those pieces weren't quite connected.
Okay, the training,
all that wasn't connected.
Because you see Stephen Amell doing the actual thing.
Yes, exactly. Oh yeah, you see Stephen Amell doing that.
But all of the the accentuated extra character stuff and the metaphysical and the and ninja stuff, and like they go very extreme, I think, in it. I still love Arrow.
They do,
but it feels very big. And
sure, definitely.
Yeah.
There's some over the top moments, definitely, and it's of course fan service. I think when those moments happen, and I think there was a little bit of that with Daredevil. Like they just threw the acrobats in, like for people that know that Daredevil does behave this way.
Well, what's refreshing though is that it's different than Arrow. And it's different than the Flash.
Except for when he talks about, this is my city.
This is my city, yeah.
This is my city.
Which is all shades of Batman, which I think was the blueprint for all of this, right? I mean, like Nolan really kind of laid down the foundation for how you would approach these superheroes.
This is my city.
Yeah.
That was my deepest voice. I can't do it.
But, I saw some people throwing shade at Arrow and the Flash after Daredevil.
Did you say throwing shade?
I did. I don't know. Is that lingo that everybody's using?
Not everybody.
It can start right now.
Okay.
That's Dick's basement first.
Okay.
Victor Lucas using on shade is on fleek.
On fleek. At Arrow and Flash saying it's not as realistic, it's not as gritty, it's not as cool as Daredevil.
Yeah.
And to that I say, F you, because there is room for all three takes on all of these comic superheroes. The Flash is a very different show than Arrow is, and they're all both different from Daredevil.
Different, yes.
Yeah. Not just in their PG-ness, but in just in character stuff, and I think they all have value. They all have merit.
We should talk about the fact that Daredevil is on Netflix, though, and I do love that for sure. I love all that, and I think it's opening the door to allow more people into this world that maybe just don't have cable and they just have Netflix and they want to watch a superhero kick some butt. But I don't like the whole binging aspect of Netflix. I jump right into. This was a very difficult show for me to binge. It was very difficult for me to go let the next episode play because I felt like I did need a little bit of a break from it.
Because of the violence and the intensity of everything.
A guy actually put his hand on someone's rib and cracked it.
Oh yeah.
And just pulled it out. And that was the only, because there was some pretty dramatic cheeseball. Yeah.
And they used it as a weapon.
Yeah. So there was some gross stuff that happened.
There's honestly so much gross stuff that happened. I forgot some of the gross stuff.
Do you remember when the guy impaled himself? Do you remember when
to kill himself instead
to kill himself?
Yes,
yeah. That was some nasty stuff.
And somebody got it right in the face too, right?
There were a few people got it right in the face.
No, like some kind of sharp, blunt instrument or something.
Well, that was the impaling.
Oh, was that it? Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah. Jeez.
That was the impaling. He did it himself.
Violent flashbacks.
Yeah. Yes. He's like, oh, you should have just killed me. And then he does it to himself. Can you imagine? Oh, my God. I was cringing the whole time. There were so many moments where I had to look away and hide my face, and I couldn't believe it. And I felt like those are the moments that pulled me back into the show. So I felt like maybe violence was the overall, I don't know, something that enticed me to watch the show.
Right.
I don't know if there was enough.
Sopranos level, mob level violence with superheroes.
But Sopranos had more to it, though, when it came to the acting and the writing.
More subplots.
And the story.
Yeah.
There was more to it than that. There was a lot of moments that felt...
Sopranos is better than Daredevil.
Yes,
I'll
absolutely.
Give you that.
Okay, good. As long as we can...
Just by a titch.
Well, I think the show has a long way to go when it comes to just pacing. I feel like the pacing, there was a lot of relationships that were rushed, they're just too rushed. They just happened too quickly. Like Rosario Dawson, her character, just how they all of a sudden kind of developed this love story between them, but then she was just waiting for him to kiss her. I'm spoiling a lot, but I'm sure you guys have already seen this.
Yeah.
I just felt like, but why? You feel like it's time to say that right now? You feel like this is the time to bring that up? Like it's not. I just felt like none of it was real enough for me.
Right.
And I guess I'm dissecting too much. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I just expected a little bit a slower pace, I guess, for relationships.
Honestly, if you have no familiarity with the source material, it's probably a little bit too much dunking right into the stuff a little too quickly.
Yeah.
But I think if you know anything about Daredevil, you obviously give it some,
What's his deal? Is he a playboy?
No, not at all.
Oh.
I mean, he has relationships for sure, but he's a tortured Catholic. Yeah,
another thing, religion does play a big role in this.
No, he's a tortured Catholic that can't believe that this is what he has to do to help save Hell's Kitchen, but he has to do it. He feels like he's got the ability, and which is the other part of being true to his faith, is that he wants to be the best, person and save the people that can't help themselves out there.
Sure, I mean, I understand his appeal.
Yeah.
He's
So that's super violent. But the other big geeky thing that came out this week was Mortal Kombat X or Mortal Kombat 10.
You guys,
of violence.
Yeah, incredibly violent. You could, I think they borrowed some stuff from Mortal Kombat in Daredevil actually, but there is lots of there's testicle punching and the balls just pop like water balloons. And there is, I'm serious, they go zoom in, close up X-ray, squish, and then there's, skull cracking and of course spine ripping.
Which is the ultimate pain for a man, I would assume.
Oh yeah, it's
would be
it's
the ball,
pretty brutal, yeah.
Literal ball busting.
No, but then there's things where I think Goro uses one of his arms to smash into a guy's chest, rip it out, and then with his other hand he pounds the guy's head into the middle of his stomach, and so seems about right. He's dead with a big hole, and his head is in the middle of his gut, and then he falls over.
Nice.
Fatality.
Yep, that's a good way to go.
Yeah.
But you and Scott reviewed it.
Yeah, Scott hated it. He's just had enough of it, and to some degree, I'm not going to speak for him, but to some degree, I kind of understand where he's coming from because this is a franchise that consistently delivers a very familiar experience. Yes. And every time they step up to the plate, there is this advancement in graphics and technology, and there's a real showcase of the prowess of the team, which is something that I respect and appreciate. But the core of it is if you've had enough at the Mortal Kombat buffet over the years, and there has been a lot to eat from the Mortal Kombat buffet, I don't know if this is the one that
you should relate food to Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but I don't know if this is the one that gets you right back in, and you're oh my god, I love it. It's like it's brand. I mean, I really think it's the tightest, coolest, slickest Mortal Kombat that they've made, but it feels like more of the Mortal Kombat. And I think that's the business sort of.
But is it your go-to fighting experience? Is it your go-to fighting game experience? This is for you?
No, it is not. No, okay. my go-to, if I'm going to pick something up, it's probably Injustice now because of.
It's good.
I love that game, and there's so much about Injustice. I said this in the review that has been transposed to the Mortal Kombat characters. Yeah. And it's successful. I mean, I like the background, pieces that you can fight off of, and the jumping in the story between the different characters, so you get a feel for each of them, and the move sets and the mid-level X-ray moves and all that stuff, like the superpower moves. All that stuff is amazing. But so much of that was in Injustice with the characters that I grew up with, more superhero talk, that it was hard for me to forget about that and just lose myself in the new Mortal Kombat lore. I'm not as big of a fan of the MK lore as obviously I am of the DC lore.
Would you be into it though if they came out with a movie that was actually good?
I think the first one was actually not that terrible. I mean, it was cheesy, but I think it was.
Oh, it was super cheeseball.
But it was fitting the source material. I think that they.
It was so cheesy.
Mortal Kombat has always been a kind of a cheesy reflection of the developers' kind of take on all of the fighting exploitation movies that came out in the 70s. I mean, it was just always a shadow of that.
I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just the acting in that movie. It's fun to watch, though.
Raiden,
yeah.
God of Thunder. This is my Christopher Lambert for everybody.
That was really good.
Ow!
That was really good. You've been nailing it.
Somebody in the chat wants to know if you think that Mortal Kombat fatalities are outdated.
I don't know if they're outdated. I think who in their right mind would release a Mortal Kombat game and not put fatalities into it?
It's too iconic,
right?
That's what people are expecting.
And I said this in the review, and I know Scott feels this. There are just other franchises that maybe haven't innovated either, but the characters, and we're talking Street Fighter, and I think both he and I loved Soul Calibur like crazy.
Sure, yeah.
And I loved, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
I don't think there's much more that these fighting games can do, though, to evolve, because fans of them expect certain things.
Yes.
Like when you go to Dead or Alive, obviously you're expecting a certain thing. When you jump into the game and you're expecting a certain fighting style.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how much more they can evolve on what they've already built, because that's what people are going in for.
That's one of the reasons why I love Mortal Kombat, is that they always throw in all of this heaps of other ways to attack the game. So you're collecting the coins with a K, and you're unlocking characters and funny, babyalities or whatever they've thrown in there. Or, I know in this one that they're going to be uploading new backgrounds and environments on a regular basis throughout the year with the game, and sort of keeping this sort of persistent connection with the fan base out there.
So keeping the fans happy, people that purchase the game that want to play it all the time, they're keeping them happy.
Yeah, but Mortal Kombat I think has always gone above the above expectations with all of this extra stuff. At one point, they even had a kart racing game, a Mortal Kombat kart racing mini game built into one of their games. And I've reviewed so many of these damn things. One of my first memories in this business was interviewing Tobias and Ed Boon, John Tobias and Ed Boon, the two guys that co-created the whole Mortal Kombat franchise, about Mortal Kombat 2 for the Super Nintendo at E3 in 1995. And I was one of the guys that bought the Genesis first, and I bought Mortal Kombat on the Genesis, which had the violence and it didn't have on the Super Nintendo, and I could gloat about that. I was one of those guys, right? I was like, yeah, I got the adult version of Mortal Kombat from my home console.
I said that about Aladdin. I got the adult version of Aladdin on my Genesis. But no, I didn't play Mortal Kombat growing up. There was nothing about it that appealed to me.
Yeah.
But that was a flashback. That was like a way back playback.
Have you seen the sexist ad that's out there?
Do you really want me to?
No,
because
it's sexist because it's just dudes rushing to fight other dudes.
Oh.
And they're running away from girlfriends and wives and stuff. I don't think there are any women in the ad. But except the women that the guys are running away from to go to watch a fight.
That's surprising to me. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But from your description, that's surprising to me at this stage in the game. Because there are so many female gamers. There are so many female gamers that love this game.
There might be women in the crowd, but from what I remember, it was just a bunch of guys all rushing towards each other.
There are so many women now that play video games that I know. I mean, it should be.
There's a lot of fantastic female characters in the new game, including Cassie Cage, the daughter of Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage.
So she's Spice.
She's great. No, and I like the one weird one is the cowboy that they introduced. It just feels like the guys are just like, what have we done?
Let's explore, yeah.
We've done about 1 million of these things. What kind of character? Cowboy! Let's put a cowboy in this.
They have to appeal to a certain demographic, a certain genre.
Yeah. The country western singers.
Exactly.
And
there are those out there. Oh, speaking of, I got my Taylor Swift shirt on today.
Oh, yeah, she's super country.
She's not country anymore.
No.
We have 10 minutes left, so we
should
touch
on...
Are we kidding? Holy crap.
We need to touch on Guitar Hero Live and also Where is Scott Jones?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, Scott Jones went to the Guitar Hero Live with Blake.
Yeah.
You guys broed out did you guys have a battle in the streets when you broed out?
No.
You didn't have a Guitar Hero battle?
We had a bro out battle the first time we met.
That's why you guys are BFFs now. Okay.
Kind of like Batman versus Superman.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, so we went to the Guitar Hero Live event. Mm-hmm. We tried the game. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I think, just from my own experience, I think the new buttons are interesting, but they're going to take some getting used to for veterans of the game. We interviewed the creative director of the game. That interview will be out next week. So what do you guys think of the game from what you've seen?
Well, Vic and I discussed it in the rundown.
Yeah.
I think today's rundown, right? It was today's rundown.
The rundown that airs today has Guitar Hero Live.
Right. So we discussed the whole plastic.
We're skeptical as hell, I think.
Of course.
I think we got to boil it down to let's play it. Let's see what we think of this whole thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, we got burned on too many iterations before.
Yes.
It sucks that it's Guitar Hero versus Rock Band again. I don't think these things have to come out and fight each other like Batman versus Superman.
Clearly, they need to bro out, and maybe they'll come with a hybrid.
And they're promising that there won't be yearly iterations, at least on the Guitar Hero. They're saying that the GH Live online stuff, because the one thing that you can do in this thing is you can create your own music videos and post them live and stuff like that.
But they're gonna still release stuff that we need to purchase.
Yeah, well, it's only guitar focused, so there's no singing. Which I
guess I'm out.
I always love the singing in these games.
I never
that turns it into a party when you have.
Well, that's what makes it the party game.
Yeah, right.
But then maybe there was a lot of complaints, like people always want to sing and they fight over the microphone, or people lost friends over it because they didn't want to hear their voice anymore. Like, you can't even come to my party, bro.
I love
you always
built
take the
whole
mic.
Story. So Activision was getting these letters from people.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
like my friend anymore because you put a microphone in
Yeah,
that
so
game.
maybe that's why the mic is gone.
I hate that guy.
Important questions.
Yeah. I think this is, we'll go to E3. We will try these things.
Yeah, we'll try them.
We'll see if we are excited.
But so Scott is not here. He stayed in New York because he, lived in New York for a long time,
Yeah,
and he's
touch and base.
He's touching base. He's getting, he's American. Sometimes he just needs to spend some time in America to remember where he came from, because he's getting soft here, everyone. He's getting soft here in Canada, so he goes.
Healthy.
He's getting healthy, but he's also getting soft. So he just wants to, toughen up in America.
By large crowds.
In New York, But speaking of getting healthy, though, I just want to throw this out there. I know I talked to you about it already. I got a lot of vaccinations this week.
Yeah.
And I was feeling very feverish, but only at night, which is very strange. And then I realized that I have yellow fever in my body, and I have.
Does everybody know what you're doing?
Oh, okay. So I'm going to be climbing Machu Picchu. I'm doing like the 4-day hike, which I'm terrified. I am freaking terrified.
Not in a new Far Cry game.
No, it's not. It's just
really
my own little real life video game that I'm going for. So I need to get vaccinated before I go, or else I won't get back into Canada.
If you kill some badgers, you can make a holster. Okay. All right.
Okay, sounds good. I love it.
Okay.
But because of these vaccinations, so I'm fighting off these fevers at night that I'm getting. And last night was the first night I didn't have a fever. Yeah. And I just thought, you know what? Our bodies are amazing. Yeah. Our bodies are amazing. I had legitimate active diseases inside of me, and it just fought it off, and I feel powerful.
Thanks for sitting beside me at the movie.
No problem.
By the way, I'm breathing all over
problem. So you might have yellow fever soon, and hepatitis A.
Wouldn't that
Good
be
luck
amazing?
with that. No,
Wouldn't that be amazing?
But your body is amazing, and it will fight it off. But but you should get vaccinated, obviously. This is my vaccination speak, only because I feel powerful now. I feel.
You were before.
I was.
You were going to be hella powerful when you come back from climbing Machu Picchu in Peru.
Knock on wood, though, because no, I'm going to fall down the mountain.
But we got to tell people what we're playing this weekend. What are you playing this weekend?
We have time for a lightning round.
Lightning round. So, you and I are reviewing Broken Age.
Yes.
So the second episode finally got released. My God.
I'm so psyched to play this game.
So but I need to play it from start to finish again because it's just been too long.
Yep, totally.
We're watching Bloodline.
I'm also squeezing some time. It's more Borderline, but I'm also squeezing some time in with Pillars of Eternity. So I'm just gonna say goodbye, and I'm gonna go into a time capsule. And you can let me out next Wednesday when I come back to Civilization, because I got a lot of shit to play and watch
you got a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Plus your dad.
Yeah.
Like there's just no.
Tap dancing is on
and
very
tap
soon.
dancing is happening.
Gotta take my
Adorable.
kid to tap dancing.
I'm just going to be, because we have Bloodline. I'm just also look. I gotta be real with you. I need to finish Gilmore Girls and get this show the hell out of my life, because I'm living in this. I can't do one binge and another binge, and
can I postpone my season 1 of Gilmore Girls?
Fine, you can postpone it till
after Comic-Con or something.
No, after Comic-Con. No way. Comic-Con's in no, that's not gonna happen.
So before that,
it's going to be. I want you to do it when I'm in Peru.
Holy! So when you come back, we can reminisce about the glory days of Gilmore Girls.
Well, we need to talk about. I want to know your thoughts on it. Really.
Okay. All right.
I feel like we should get down to biz about Gilmore Girls. Blake knows all about it only because his family watched it. He didn't watch it, but he devastated me last week with the news that it just ended abruptly.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
They pull a firefly on you at the end.
They pull a firefly.
Bullshit.
Which sucks, and that okay. Anyways,
we have to work in Firefly more into Vic's basement.
We should.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
More things to binge on Netflix if you haven't. Okay. Yeah. And then sorry, you want a lightning round? Go.
Yeah, sure. So we have 3 minutes left. So let's try to get through all these. Okay. Yeah. Musical instrument controller of choice. This is for both of you.
Microphone.
Come on. I'm gonna say the guitar. I like the drums, but I'm not good enough.
Yeah, I would go with guitar as well.
I like them all, but I love the singing part of it.
I love the turntable though in DJ Hero.
That was awesome too.
Yeah.
And it's those guys that are making the new Guitar Hero, so I'm psyched about that.
Cool. Nice. So Vic, what recent graphic novels do you recommend?
Saga, the Brian K. Vaughan series, incredible, so cool. It's crazy adult sci-fi. This is the writer behind Why the Last Man, and his other book that nobody talks about is Ex Machina, which was also incredible. So a little Brian K. Vaughan shout out.
Hold on a second. We just saw a movie.
No,
that was called.
We saw.
Ex
Machina.
Machina.
Ex Machina. Yeah. Well, there's a comic series, nothing like the movie, called Ex Machina as well. I'm pretty sure.
You should go see that movie if you haven't.
Yeah, see the movie and read
Oscar
the
Isaac's.
comic.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac.
Going to be in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay. Orphan Black season 3. Are you guys excited?
I haven't watched any of that.
Never watched Orphan Black.
I apparently have to watch Gilmore Girls before I can watch Orphan Black.
Yeah, because that's how you get into Orphan Black. You finish Gilmore Girls.
I hear it's a spin-off of.
Yeah, probably.
No, I want to watch Orphan Black. Our buddy from Far Cry 3 is in it. What's Michael Mando?
Yeah.
There, a lot of amazing Canadian actors in that.
Cool. Okay, thoughts on GTA 5 for the PC? I know you've played it a bit.
It's incredible. It's 60 frames per second. It's ridiculous. It's like another game. It's like, especially when you're in the driving scenes at 60 frames per second, it's like you're in Need for Speed in the middle of...
Do you do first person?
I tried first person a bit too, but it's all so fast moving and beautiful, and you can turn the details right. If you have a souped up PC, I've got a pretty good one, and it runs.
Don't brag, but
I don't have the best one, but I have a pretty good one, and it runs beautifully well. Absolutely worth getting. It broke non-Valve Steam records for most play at the same time.
And apparently it has the highest Metascore for any PC game right now, higher than Half-Life 2, which is shocking. Half-Life 2 is the best game ever.
You're as big a fan of this game as I am. You got it for the PS4 as well as PS3.
It's very impressive on the PS4.
Yeah, but it's 30 frames per second.
Yes.
It's a revelation. It's like, holy crap, It's like a brand new thing. So play it if you got a PC, for sure.
Well, speaking of visually stunning games, do we plan to review I Am Bread?
We are, I think.
Is it in the pipeline?
I think, I think we're going to.
Didn't we review it last year as a...
No,
that was another gimmicky. We did Goat Simulator.
You're thinking of Goat
which
Simulator.
I heard is just on the Xbox One now, so congrats.
Octodad has the same kind of mechanic, so...
Okay, Vic.
I Am Bread.
Vic, do you plan to make your own superhero show? And if you do, what's it about?
Do I plan to make my own superhero show? I actually did. I might as well say this because it's not going to happen. But
oh my God, it's happening.
When you create a production company, you come up with all kinds of different tangents that you might take your production company in.
Okay.
I wrote up a whole treatment on Metal Men, which was a DC series out of the 50s with iron, tin, mercury, and platinum and lead, I think, are the different metal heroes. They were all, it's kind of Fantastic Four, but all the characters are made out of metal. And I thought that would be an incredible film to bring out, or a television series.
That's one of that was rumored to be getting a live action show, because every DC thing has a show now.
Well, it makes sense, and I really saw that as an untapped thing. And I was much younger, so I was much more believing that good ideas would just filter up and anybody would pay attention to a good idea. But it's like we're seeing with Michelle McLaren leaving Wonder Woman. It's not so easy.
Not the case.
To wind your way through all of that stuff. But I actually would love to see something like that come out, down the pipeline. Okay. But you know what? After watching Daredevil, my first thought was, why is there not a Batman television show, like a real Batman show with this level of sophistication? Why do we have to wait? This is a character that's grounded in reality. We know that he's going to be in movies too, but why do we have to wait? Why can't we watch an awesome Batman series too?
Because maybe he's too big for the small screen.
He is, but the small screen could give us all kinds of interesting tales. And in fact, what I thought of with Gotham is monopolizing the superhero talk. This is what Hollywood has done for geeks like me. I would take Gotham, and I would say every season is 5 years in the future.
Oh.
And then you would hire some new actors, but some actors you could naturally age, and then you would start to see the origin of Batman, and you would see him get out in the streets, and that would bring that much needed level of vitality to that series, because it's struggling. I watch episodes, and at the end of them I go, meh. And then I start the next one, Like there's a lot of. It's a beautiful show. Like they've done a great job.
Click on the next one.
Well, they've done a really good job with the production, and there's some really interesting elements. But they need to fix it.
Plus Batman.
Okay, last question for the lightning round.
Yeah.
Marissa.
What?
Are you excited for all the new Animal Crossing stuff that's coming?
I'm always excited about Animal Crossing, and I'm so excited that Vic, I would love to review this stuff with you, but I think that I should make Scott
you
anything Animal Crossing from here on out because I feel like
in fact we should just make him do some solo Animal Crossing stuff.
All of it.
What do you think?
I love that because I really want him to dive into the world a little bit more. I feel like because a lot of people only take Animal Crossing for what it looks like on the surface.
Yeah.
Which yes, it's very cutesy and doesn't seem like you're doing much of anything, but once you actually live in this world, there's so much to do, and you need to be responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta pay the mortgage eventually. You pay and own that thing.
Okay, see, now you're making me feel like you don't like it either.
No, I like it a lot. I think it's cool.
Okay.
But
I feel like you're not respecting it.
The thing with these sim type games though that always drives me crazy is like I have enough pressure. I got
real life problems, man.
I don't want to come home and be like have the game like yakking at me. Like, do your shit in the game.
It doesn't yak at you, though. It doesn't. You need to be a responsible, not human being. Well, you are the human in Animal Crossing.
When games become your wife, that's kind of what it is, right? Or your husband. Yeah. You know, like, you gotta take out this diaper into the trash can. You gotta clean the dishes, clean the house, get a job.
There's none of that.
Well, that's the Sims, but...
that's the Sims. It's a completely different thing. Animal Crossing is much better than the Sims, and you know that. Yeah, of course. So I'm very excited, of course. Thank you for the question. And I hope... Yeah, and thank you so much for watching. And we have Game of Thrones chats now. If you didn't catch this week, you can still watch it, but we're going to have it on Monday.
Yep.
And Scott will be joining us this Monday. He'll be back. So yeah, episode 2 of Game of Thrones. We're gonna chat about that.
The greatest geek spring and summer continues this weekend. Watch Game of Thrones. Restart your Daredevil.
Yeah. Well, you don't need to restart it.
Play some Game of Thrones, or play some Pillars of Eternity, or some Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
Or some Half-Life 2.
Or some Half-Life 2.
Any and all of that, man. Just have a good weekend, but also get outside because it is lovely out.
It is.
It is lovely out today. I don't know if it's lovely where you are, but it's lovely here, and people should get out.
Come to Vancouver, hang out with us. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.
See you next time. Stitcher!
Vic's Basement would like to thank its sponsors, EB Games, Nintendo, Xbox, and Gameloft.